we've entered the next phase of escalation, and that's become pretty clear. After a 3-month lull between the ceasefire on April 7th, and then this new ramp up of targeted kinetic strikes that really began in the last week or so. It started with, hey, um, a couple of maybe tankers traversing the Strait of Hormuz were attacked. U.S. does a retaliatory strike. We've seen now, soldiers attacked, killed, etc.
Yep.
U.S. escalates strike further. It's built up to the escalation point again, and it's broken out. So, for anybody who was betting that light memorandum of understanding would hold and would progress to a new deal, well, that it looks like you've lost
You
that bet.
lost that bet.
We're ramping back up, and this conflict has taken on its, I call it the third phase. So first phase, Epic Fury, was a target of IRGC, military, equipment, radar, um, you know, attack facilities for,
Yeah.
military purposes, all of that. All right, once that, worked itself out in the first, it was really, 10 days or so. It was rather quick. Then it moved into economic fury, which was basically knocking out Iran's financial architecture, um, banking infrastructure, all of that. OFAC sanctions would have been part of that, or you could say also trading counterparties for Iranian oil exports. So you saw Treasury target say a lot of Iraqi oil traders as targets of its sanctions, all of that.
Right.
This is a new front in my read. And you can see it on social media, but it's really targeting the real infrastructure of the economy. So roads, bridges, power plants, et cetera. We'll get to that, but it's the new it's the new phase of this conflict. Um, it's sad to say that this is where it is, but this is a process, like, 50, 100 years in the making. All the other paths out of this, that they've kind of consolidated on this one route. The only way out is through, is the sad truth of it. So where we are now, the Houthis have now cut off access to the Red Sea for Saudi oil exports, which has created a second wave in oil markets with both of those sea routes now closed. So the Bab al Mandab, is the gateway into the Red Sea. Strait of Hormuz, the gateway into the Persian Gulf. Both those are blocked. In practical terms, what this means is a drop in access to energy economies or exports from the Middle East for the Southeast Asian economies, in particular China. So, note in this article text, the processing rate for Chinese refiners have fallen 18% year on year. We're really seeing that same effect across the globe. And kind of judging by what we're seeing on other fronts, so including Ukraine's drone attacks on Russia's refinery infrastructure, you could also look at the story in California of the, um, I don't know how to phrase this correctly here, the regulatory uh, destruction. I don't know what you will. The slow moving regulatory attack on California's refining capacity. I think that's a safe and correct way to say it. Um, it doesn't take Captain Obvious to blurt out or tell us that this is like you can see what looks like a coordinated strategy here. The result is of that strategy, the tightening of global refinement capacities, is we're seeing diesel consumption fall an estimated 10% year on year in China and Europe by 5.7%. So think about diesel as a key input to that investment cycle we talked about earlier. Look at all the heavy, go back and look at that photo if you will, if you wanted to roll back the tape, but look at all the heavy equipment involved, the big yellow trucks, the trains moving, or sorry, the cranes moving around the site. That all runs on diesel. You pull the diesel out, you don't get that growth. So you can see kind of, if you think about this as a global war, definitely a capital war, definitely a kinetic war, definitely a cyber war. Um, you can see the energy markets and what's going on as kind of a key cog in that in that kind of battle plan. All right, so just this is a graph here from a Reuters article. With that Red Sea route blocked, those energy commodities, you can see the traffic pickup here, starting with March when Epic Fury began. You see the escalation of export traffic or export transport through the Red Sea, going through the port of Yanbu during the call it the Iran War. Um, those picked up, now those are closed off. So the closure of the Red Sea, if you really think about it, look to where those oil cargoes were going. They were headed to Asia, like the dark blue in those lines. I know it might not be clear because all the shades of blue are so close. Tiny sliver going to Africa, basically going like the rest of them nowhere else. So closure of the Red Sea, what's blocked here? It's energy commodity access for Asia. The bulk of those would be hitting the Chinese market. Um, so yeah, everybody in Asia is going to feel the brunt of what the Houthis are doing, but China is going to take the bulk of the hit.
Right.
All right. So the military policy from the US is now a head for an eye strategy, as Marco Rubio called it today in a press conference. Donald Trump indicated in a Truth Social post. Um, uh, like kind of a promise to bomb Iranian infrastructure for any ships that are now hit in the Hormuz. Um, Another post shows the Houthis are included in that ultimatum. So it was a sad fact of life, but this is where we are. Um, we're kind of pot committed here. We've already unleashed Pandora's box. There really is no way out of this now but through.